Tonight, Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris is completely engulfed by fire. It's feared very little has been saved.
A priest has been killed and another person seriously injured following an attack on a church in northern France. The incident is being treated as a terror attack.
Churches are being desecrated and vandalized all over France. Anti-Christian vandalism, including one church being defiled with human excrement.
The 85-year-old priest, Father Jacques Hamel, had served the Catholic community here for almost 60 years. He died after the assailants slit his throat.
The massacre at Charlie Hebdo on Wednesday left the office in chaos. Papers spilled everywhere, splashed with the blood of the dead and the injured. The killings, along with chilling images caught on video of two masked gunmen firing assault rifles on a quiet Paris street, have traumatized this country.
In countries like Britain and France, most of us are not Muslims. We do not believe in Muhammad as the founder for any faith that we follow. You cannot expect, and this is a crucial thing, Muslims should not expect non-Muslims to abide by their own belief systems. There is a problem in Europe, sir, and the problem is of Islamic fundamentalism. There is now also a secondary problem, which is that many people who do not like the Islamic fundamentalists are objecting to it. I suggest we unite in sorting out the first primary problem in order to also prevent the secondary problem from ever growing.
Anti-religious attacks are taking place on an almost daily basis in France. But while some incidents seem to attract a lot of attention, others are largely being ignored.
The lion's share of incidents in the country do target Christians, something that the mainstream media's coverage seems to miss.
In addition to churches, other public Christian symbols have also been targeted. For example, summit crosses on mountaintops, public crucifixes have been destroyed or vandalized, and public statues of Jesus and the Virgin Mary have been decapitated or destroyed.
A total of 875 churches were torched or vandalized, including the desecration of altars, defacing of Christ on the cross, and more.
Notre Dame took 200 years to build. It's one of the greatest treasures of medieval architecture. Tonight it lies in ruins. Huge crowds gathered in the streets around it. Many were in tears.
From what I'm hearing, the people gathered currently around Notre Dame, just people in shock and really a lot of tears. People just, repeating, it's gone, there's so much gone. Since, as you were pointing out earlier, that moment when the spire actually collapsed, really a marking moment, people, for saying really like, what is left now?
Looking at those great works of Western man, and remembering all that he's achieved in philosophy, poetry, science, lawmaking, it does seem hard to believe that European civilization can ever vanish. And yet, it has happened once. All the life-giving human activities that we lump together under the word civilization have been obliterated once in Western Europe, when the barbarians ran over the Roman Empire. For 2 centuries, the heart of European civilization almost stopped beating. We got through by the skin of our teeth. In the last few years, we developed an uneasy feeling that this could happen again. And advanced thinkers, who even in Roman times thought it fine to gang up with the barbarians, have begun to question if civilization is worth preserving. Well, this is why it seems to me a good moment to look at some of the ways in which man has shown himself to be an intelligent, creative, orderly, and compassionate animal. And the time to begin looking is the time when the old world of Greece and Rome had collapsed and the new world of Western Europe had not produced anything that one could call civilization. What is civilization? I don't know. I can't define it in abstract terms yet, but I think I can recognize it when I see it, and I'm looking at it now.
Well, a glimmer of hope this morning in the aftermath of that massive inferno that damaged the beloved Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. The towering fire is now extinguished, and amazingly, some of the interior of the structure withstood these flames, including one of the most priceless relics, the crown of thorns, believed to have been placed on Jesus' head at the crucifixion, and a cross there at the altar.
Call it the miracle of Notre Dame.
A cross appearing to glow on the altar, a symbol of hope for the entire world.
The devastating fire that held the world transfixed destroyed the cathedral's spire and much of its roof. But the frescoes, the pietas, the grand organ all survived. Even the rose windows, though partly damaged by heat, have not been destroyed.
Many things are said to be irreplaceable. Great art, cultural heritage, symbols of protection and hope.
But what you said, what goes on inside is the church with a capital C. Community, faith, prayer, worship, charity, hope, art, nobility, lifting up of the mind and heart to God through Jesus. That's what goes on within the church with a capital C. That can never be destroyed.
I was thinking about the span of world history that cathedral has watched, from Joan of Arc to Louis XIV to the French Revolution to World War II, all in the shadow of that cathedral. Why is that such an important place?
It's become an icon not only of faith, it's also an icon of art, poetry, literature, French pride and gratitude, French identity. It almost becomes the icon of what we call civilization. Everything that is best, most uplifting, inspiring, and ennobling of the human project seems to go up with those spires that are now damaged. So it really is an icon for what's best in human nature, because what's best in human nature comes from God and goes back to him. So what moves me, and I don't know if you'd agree, what moves me is already the spirit of resurrection, new life, revival. It strikes me as, listen, if a tragedy like this has to happen during Holy Week and Passover, not bad, because the sacred message of both of those is from dying comes rising. So maybe this is going to bring about a great revival. You already see it in the French people.